Good afternoon, guys. This is Big Red Truck coming to you live in the beautiful sleeper of my 2020 Kenworth D680. Alright, as y'all know, I'm working for Trans Am, and I get a lot of questions whether or not they should go lease or company. So I'm about to go into the details with y'all. This is going to be a multi-part series, so stay tuned, stay attached, and stay subscribed, alright? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and leave any type of comments or anything you need to know. Anything I did not go over, it will probably be gone over in later videos, but be sure to put that in the comments. And always ring that little bell right down there so y'all can sit there and get updates when Big Red Truck putting some videos on, alright? So, without further ado, here we go. First thing you're going to take into consideration, I'm going to start with the overall outcome, what you need to think about before you even decide in this, alright? The things you need to think about. Your number one, there's 5 of these. Number one, there's actually more than that, but 5 is what I'm going to go over. Number one, family approval. Will your family agree with what you're doing, alright? Whether it be your husband, wife, mother, dad, children, you know the deal, alright? Number 2 will be your pay. Whether you're getting paid at CPM, salary, or you're on a fixed where you get paid just a certain amount every week no matter what you do. Mostly that's for dedicated or regional drivers. But, alright, next thing you need to take, and number 3, is your benefits. Alright? What kind of benefits will they offer? Whether it be 401k, dental, medical, you need to worry about those things because those things make a difference between you and your family. Alright? Number 4 will be home time. This is not always a guaranteed thing, but it is a thing you need to consider. When you are an over-the-road OTR truck driver, home time is nice. Every driver's dream is to be home more, alright? You got to take sacrifices, though, when you're an over-the-road truck driver. You don't always get the home time you want. So we'll go into more detail about that on both sides here in a minute. Alright, number 5, the outcome of your driving career. Where do you see yourself 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50, whatever, so on and so forth, down the road? Where do you see yourself when it's all said and done? You're signing that retirement slip and you're getting the hell out of Dodge, alright? When you go home and you officially settle down, get that 1967 Corvette Stingray with the rolling down the street, convertible, got your wife right beside you, your kids are already out of school, you're home alone with your wife, and that's the overall outcome of your driving career. Where do you see yourself in the end? Alright? Now we're about to go into more details. We're going to go back on number 1 real quick, because this one is very important. To be a lease driver, and I'm going to start out with the leasing, and then I'll go into the company, and it'll all be in the same video. This is probably a pretty long video. In the lease side, your wife or husband, if you're married, need to approve completely. There doesn't know to be whenever you're talking to her, oh, it's whatever makes you happy, honey. That ain't going to work. Because just, you being happy isn't going to work. Your whole family needs to be happy. You all need to be on a mutual understanding before you make a huge leap like trying to lease to own a truck. Alright? So get that in your head, have a nice long talk with your spouse or husband. Have a nice long talk with them to figure out if you two will be okay with you jumping into a huge contract that'll set you back for 5 or so years, alright? Now, going back to number 2, pay. CPM is the base average about what most people get paid by. Most people get paid by the mile. However many miles you make is however much you're going to get paid. Like they always say, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning, alright? That is sometimes, misconception and everything, so, it is what it is. But CPM, The base average, I think, right now is 42 cents a mile. Something like that. It's what most people usually average at, alright? Trans Am is on the lower end of that stick, along with a lot of the other multi-billion-dollar companies. I'm just going to be honest with you. So when you're looking at CPM, you've got to take it to a big picture here. What can I live off of? How many miles can I run to provide that standard? And what am I getting paid to run those miles? Because you got to remember, if you have a family, if you're single, it makes sense to have extra money in a bank account. It's a lot easier that way. Alright? If you're married and stuff, that expense in a bank account is necessary. You've got to have money for your family to fall back on, as well as money for you to fall back on. That way, say if you get laid over for 3 or 4 days, you got to have money to eat on and everything. Granted, I keep food and everything, on me and stuff in the truck. So, I don't really have to go out to eat. I do, but I don't have to. Alright? Now, getting paid by the mile is nice, alright? It's a gamble, though. You're not guaranteed 3,500 miles. Your recruiter that you talk to may say, oh, we guarantee 3,000 to 3,500 miles. That's if you run your ass off and they give you loads to run, alright? If the miles ain't there, you ain't making no money now, alright? Now, salary. Salary is nice. That's like, salary is you get paid a certain amount of money every week. This is mainly kind of sought to the regional and dedicated drivers. Dedicated, you still may get paid CPM, but some of the times it's salary, and that's a fixed amount of money you'll get every month. Like Texas regional drivers at Trans Am get $900. I think it's either $900 or $1,200. I don't know. I'm not a Texas regional, but I talked to a couple of them. I think it's $900 or $1,200 a week. That's it. Whether you run 5 miles or 5,000 miles, it doesn't matter. You're making either $900 or $1,200 a week. Don't quote me on that. All right. Now, there's also another type of load. It's called a percentage based. Now, what that is that's a pay where you get paid a percentage of what the load brings. Whether, lease drivers and stuff, they can get upwards to 90% of what the load brings. So whatever the load in the back of your truck is worth, you'll get so much percentage of that. That's also a gamble, because whether your dispatchers hook you up with a good paying load is a whole different ballgame and you float. Alright? Now, number three, going with the benefits, your 401k, your dental and stuff like that. Lease drivers, you have to pay for that out of pocket. That is not provided for you in most situations. That is not provided for you. So you have to go out and search and find good companies to get a 401k, medical, dental, and that you have to pay for that. Most company drivers, I'm thinking all of them actually. I'm going to say most though. Most company drivers provide you with 401k, medical, dental, retirement plans. They provide you with all of that, all right? So that's something positive about being a company driver. But I'll go into stuff with a company driver more. 4, home time. With a company driver, you don't really have that much choice on when you go home. They give you a docket that says, we have these days open, which days would you want? And we'll try to get you home then. No guarantees. Lease driving, all you have to do is put in a form and say, I'm going home on this day and for this long. You go home. So that's a positive part about lease driving. There's positive and negatives of both. Alright? Now your outcome of your driving career. Where you see yourself in the end makes a huge difference. If you would just see yourself driving a truck for a couple of years, company driving ought to be for you. That's probably where you should go. But if you see yourself making a lifelong decision on this and leasing a truck for 5 years, then owning it afterwards, buying it out, and then running a owner-operator, leasing should be for you. Leasing is for the long-term guys who want to stick around, put their boots in the dirt, and walk in the field and cut them bales, That's just no farming term. That is for the dedicated people who want to stay in this and want to do it, want to survive, or in a firing flame. But I will sit there and go into that more later. Alright, so now that we've knocked out this first video, be sure to comment and everything. Now I am going to do another video on this, so be sure to stay tuned with this. Be sure to keep your heads up, keep it sunny side up, and like always, I will see you on the flip flop. All right.